Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Hard Copy, coming to you from our studios in Abuja. Mr. Asishana Okauru, the Director General of the Nigeria Governors Forum, is our guest tonight. And now, Mr. Okauru, how would you say that the formation of regional governors group has affected the unity or, has impacted the Nigeria Governors Forum?
No, it has actually helped the Governors Forum. I mean, there's something unique about the Nigerian Governors Forum. It's the only association where you have the 36 governors together. There are a few other features within the family. One is non-partisan, and number two, it's focused on policies. I mean, cutting-edge policies that are of national interest. And national and common interest to the 36 governors.
Non-partisan, would you say that they're guarding against what happened in 2013? How would you say they're...
No, 2013, I was directly involved in 2013. I was the returning officer. I conducted the election.
So what transpired then?
I mean, it was just politics. I mean, I remember, we're very mindful of the election cycle. I mean, like for instance, the closer you get to 2019, you have to begin to expect anything. We're not, these are politicians. And you should be ready.
So let's talk a bit more about you now. Yeah. You were the first pioneer director of the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit.
That's my first law, that's true.
And it's been in the news now. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen the debate by senators and also the executive arm of government over the autonomy of the NFIU and threats by the Egmont Group to, suspend Nigeria indefinitely from the Transparency Unit if it doesn't remove it from the purview of the EFCC. What's your take on it?
Okay, now, I think there's need for the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to be operationally independent. There's need for it to be financially independent. There's need for some more security around the tenure of the director there, and there's need for credibility. Out there. And professionalism amongst the staff. I was lucky. I'm a foundation staff of the EFCC, and I must tell you, in 2003, when they started the EFCC under Nuhu Ribadu, the international community actually thought that we had established the Financial Intelligence Unit. I remember the first trip Nuhu made to Paris. They congratulated him. Thank you. We are now happy that you now have a Nigerian governors. You now have a Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. It was when the Chairman Nuhu came back that he decided to constitute a 10-man committee to look into this, the idea of forming the Financial Intelligence Unit. I was part of that team. We sat for 1 year, traveled around. In West Africa, there was no other FIU to reference. In Africa, there were just two other FIUs. There was one in Mauritius and the other one in South Africa. We visited both places. The US volunteered to support. After 1 year, a report was put together and submitted to the EFCC and the federal government. And I was asked to basically implement that report. So that's how I became the first director of the Financial Intelligence Unit in Nigeria. Now, for about 6 years, we did it. Basically, it's your apex. What's the Financial Intelligence Unit? It's your apex body responsible for managing the anti-money laundering program in the country. So
you think that the steps of the senators to remove it from under the purview of the EFCC is the right step to take?
It's debatable. It's tough to say whether it's the right thing to do or not. I must tell you, I'll tell you, the important thing is it's not even the location of the FIU.
What's the problem?
The important thing is allowing the body to be operationally independent. The EFCC chairman must not be responsible for determining who becomes the director, for instance. Even if it's responsible, then there should be some limit to just moving, just getting the guy out.
Won't that happen with the amendments that the senators are putting in place?
No. I've read that law. I think what they have is good. The framework, the legal framework they have for the FIU is wonderful.
Is it as it currently stands, or as it's currently been proposed by the senators?
No, by the senators. I mean, I've read what the senators proposed. I think it's fine. You know, like for me, the location of the FIU is not what is not extra. I mean, because you have some FIUs within the police around the world. The U.S. FIU is under the Treasury Department. I mean, so it's really it's not important. I think if it's possible to amend the EFCC Constitution, the EFCC Act, to accommodate the FIU within the EFCC, that'll be fine. But if it's impossible, then there will be need to create to think of locating it elsewhere. But before you do that, it's important you begin to look at the funding level of the FIU. It's important you look at the tenure of the director. It's important you look at the other stakeholders. Because, I mean, as the director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Edmond Group membership is extremely important. I led the delegation to Bermuda in 2007 to sign Nigeria into the Edmond Group. Chairman Ibrahim Lamode was the director of operations, EFCC. He was part of the delegation. We went to Bermuda, signed. There were about 8-9 countries that got in that year. And I'm shocked, very embarrassed that 10 years after, we've been suspended. It's just very embarrassing, you know.
What do you say to people who say that you went from probing governors to working for them?
I've had that over and over again. I mean, we were not probing governors. There was no time I was
Well, you must have been investigating, you know, how cash was moving from states, definitely.
No, that is look, as director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, you are involved in the flow of funds, okay? And you are involved in developing intelligence and developing intelligence packages. Basically, we work with what you call suspicious transaction reports from banks, financial institutions, designated non-financial institutions, and a number of other bodies. And of course, as a professional, we did our job. A lot of intelligence was supplied to the EFCC. We gave intelligence to the SSS, to the DSS. I worked with the central bank. I worked with customs. I mean, so that was my job.
You resigned your job controversially.
Of course, yeah.
Under some cloud about you having files on some governors. How does that affect your perception of the governors whom you currently work with?
The governors know I'm a professional. And I want to remain that way. I'm a professional. You know, and a professional will always do his job. I mean, I was responsible for putting records together and giving such records to law enforcement bodies around the country, and I did exactly that.
So when you hear from people who say that governors are corrupt, indolent, and overly reliant on the Federation account, do you agree with them then?
You know, when you say corrupt and overly indolent and reliant on the Federation account, the last part of it is true for 99% of the states. You have your records, that's correct. Now, overly indolent, I do not agree with that. You have extremely hardworking governors, toiling day and night to ensure they leave the state better than they met it. I mean, when you say corrupt, again, corruption is out there all over the place. It's not peculiar to governors, I must tell you. I mean, a lot of things, you know, I was talking to my counterpart in the U.S., the FinCEN director. You know, he was director of FinCEN, and shortly after, Mary Lynch got him in as the chief compliance officer. So he basically moved from regulating to now working for an operator. I mean, it's similar to what I mean. And he said, look, both environments are similar. The important thing is to stay professional. That's how I see it. I mean, today, I'm responsible for putting meetings together for governors. We keep records for governors. We advise governors. I mean, we anchor interface between the federal government and the state government. We help in the work between the state governments and development partners. And we stay professional. I've been on this for quite some time. You can't go to any state and find a file belonging to Asishana Okauru or any company associated with me. I mean, it's not possible.
That's definitely, I mean, of course, not taken away from your personal integrity, but then the question will be, how do you view those whom you currently work with?
I respect, look, you know, Within the EFCC, I saw governors from afar, okay? In the past couple of years, I've served over 81, I was just checking with my colleague in the office. We've worked for about 81 governors in the past 5 years or 6 years. I'll tell you, you have a crop of wonderful people, bright, sound, solid minds as governors in this country. And I can give you names. I mean, you know.
I wish we had time for that. Yeah. I wish we had time for that. We hope that, you know, we will be able to talk to you some other time, or perhaps some other issues, especially with the controversy brewing over the NFIU. Mr. Asishana Okauru, thank you for coming on Hard Copy.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's the program tonight. Do share your views on the Nigeria Governors Forum with us. What do you make of them? Use the handles on your screen. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun. Good night.